You don't build self-trust by being perfect. You build it by how you respond when you're not. Welcome to day 23 of the 30-day self-trust challenge with me, Kathy Richards, RD. So, self-trust isn't something that we can build by getting everything right. So, it's built by how you respond when things don't go the way you intended. Okay, so a lot of us will think that if we make a mistake, it's because we're not disciplined, we can't be trusted, we need to try harder or be more strict. But it's not the mistake itself that breaks our self-trust. It's that shame we feel when we do something wrong or we make a mistake. So curiosity helps us rebuild self-trust. So we used to use that in emotional eating groups that I ran for years. Curiosity instead of getting furious, get curious instead of furious was the line that we used. So it was about again like just being curious about okay, why did I respond this way when I thought I wanted to do it this way, right? Or what happened there? Or what did I need in that moment that I didn't have? Or what can I learn from, what happened? Not, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get it together? I ruined everything, right? It's putting on that kind of curiosity lens versus getting frustrated and feeling ashamed. So here, I want to give you a couple of examples. One is something that I see quite often with my clients. They might have decided that they're not going to eat after a certain time frame, right? So they might be trying to do like timed eating or just, following the myth that eating after 8 p.m., is going to make us gain weight and things like that. So they'll tell themselves that they're not going to eat after supper, but by 9 o'clock, they feel really hungry and they find themselves in the kitchen eating cereal right out of the box, let's say. The shame response in that situation would be like, I have no willpower. I ruined the day. Obviously, I can't trust myself around food. Okay. Whereas if we flip that to the curiosity response, that would be, was I actually hungry? Huh. Maybe I didn't eat enough today. Oh, I didn't sleep very well last night, so that could be maybe why I feel a bit more hungry. Hmm. Like what role was eating that cereal filling at that point, right? Maybe you recognize like that you skipped lunch or that you didn't really have a lot of dinner. Maybe just try to do veggies and protein, and that might not be enough to last with you overnight. Maybe you did more exercise in that day than you're used to. And that means that you have to increase your fuel, right? So the moment isn't failure, it's information. And when we can think about it from that curiosity standpoint, then we can support ourselves better the next time that behavior happens. Here's another example. I said I do it, but I didn't example, right? So maybe it's going to the gym, maybe it's going for a walk, and the time came and we didn't do it. Okay, so if we come at that from a lens of shame, that's where we're going to think like, see, I didn't go, I can't follow through, I can't trust myself to do what I say I'm going to do versus curiosity, which looks at, okay, am I tired? Is that gym actually convenient or that class at a convenient time or location for me? Or did I really set an expectation that was over my capacity for the day? Okay. Self-trust isn't forcing yourself no matter what, it's learning to listen and adjust. So we used to do that practice in the emotional eating group that I ran as well, where maybe the gym we would realize wasn't that gym class or that gym time wasn't the best fit to set that individual up for success. But we would come at it from that lens of curiosity. Like we've set this goal and we haven't met that goal. So instead of being wrong, maybe we need to go back and adjust that goal. Okay. Um, the same thing like with our kids, right? If we get mad and we snap at them, and I've been working on this with my somatic intuitive coach for the last 6 years. I am really quick to do that repair now. Like I'll say, ugh, I'm sorry I got upset. I read a message that I shouldn't have, I shouldn't read emails or text that are quite often abusive before I start my day or in the middle of getting my kids ready. I shouldn't bring that into my energy at that point, right? So I'm able to recognize like I'm not angry at the kid. I'm angry at either the other person or myself for interrupting the flow that we have set up, right? Um, Another example is like you say you want to do something, work on like a program or set up or offer something. And I'll do this often where I have all these big plans and I want to bring things, right, to support you. But I've learned to sit with it and sit back and recognize that sometimes I gave the example in another video in this series as well. Like me running 10 groups of 10 people in the middle of my workday on my lunch break when I'm already at capacity with clients for the week, that's not safe for my nervous system. And it makes sense to me now when I look back thinking like, that's crazy. Like, how did I even come up with that idea, right? Because I was taking the idea from other people that weren't in the same situation, didn't have the same, capacity limits and just the same lifestyle that I have. So the invitation today is, respond to a mistake with curiosity. Okay. So today, when something doesn't go the way that you intended, even something small, I want you to pause. And instead of going right to what's wrong with me, I want you to ask what was happening for me in that moment. So the example when I snap at my kids, what's happening for me at that moment has nothing to do with them. It might be me thinking I'm going to be late and that's disrespectful and I hate to be late for things. It might be something else entirely, right? But every time we choose curiosity over shame, we strengthen that self-trust. Okay. So that's the invitation for today. And if today feels hard, again, just try to get curious and just put that shame aside and just try to sit with, okay, why do I feel the way I feel? And again, building self-trust doesn't come from shaming ourselves. So even just having that awareness can be that first step. Join me tomorrow for day 24.